Libra is a horse that has worked hard all his life.
He probably worked every day, all day, without a break, 12, 15 hours a day.
When he developed a severe skin infection, he was sent to auction.
They didn't want to take care of it, so they just got rid of him.
Can he possibly recover from the neglect?
A lot of these horses have been abused and neglected. Some people don't realize that it takes a lot of work, and the horses are hungry in the winter, and they're hungry when you're sick, and people not necessarily want to neglect them, but through ignorance, they do neglect them.
Welcome to Last Chance Ranch, a farm in Quakertown, Pennsylvania, where forgotten and unwanted equines discover new hope.
We go to the auctions, and we find the horses that nobody else wants. They get sent to the auction either skinny, abused, with different injuries. People just throw them away because they're not useful for their purpose anymore.
Lori's mission is to rescue neglected equines, rehabilitate them, and find them new homes. Over the last 12 years, she's adopted out more than 200 horses. It's an exhausting task.
It's a 24-hour-a-day, 7-day-a-week job. It's hard to make it work. We have volunteers. The volunteers come out, and they have certain days where they feed, clean stalls.
Lori's passion for needy equines started as a child.
First horse that I rescued when I was 14 years old with my parents, his show name was Chancing It. There was just something about him. He was very sick when he first came, and I just sat with him. I just really bonded with him. He got better, and I was there when he got better, and I saw the spirit come back into him in the beginning, and we just bonded. For a lot of teenage years in high school, he was always there for me and never passed judgment. He was just my best friend. This was the last place he was going to have to move to. It was his home. And since his show name was Chancing It, it ended up being Last Chance. And it's grown into the last chance for a lot of these horses.
And although Chancing It passed away at the ripe old age of 28, Lori is reminded of him each time she rescues a horse.
His spirit is around here. Knowing that I could save him if it took enough time and took the right care, I think of that every time I go out to the auction, thinking if we just do the right thing, we can save them, even if they are sore or on their last leg.
One of Lori's favorite success stories is her stallion, Cisco. She rescued him as a baby from the slaughterhouse. Watching him makes it all worthwhile.
It's the best feeling to see a horse go from having 3 feet in the grave, really giving up on life, and to turn him out and put him out in the pasture and have them buck and play, and that's what it's all about. That's what makes it all worth it. It's an undescribable, loving feeling that just makes you feel good that you had a hand in helping that animal be happy again.
While saving horses can be rewarding, coping with the abuse and neglect of an animal is often heartbreaking.
We went up to the auction to buy a horse, to save a horse, and we saw Albert. Albert was a walking skeleton. He had no meat on him. He was just a walking skeleton.
Once home, Albert was so malnourished he collapsed. Lori knew if she was going to save the horse, she had to get him standing.
We didn't want him to lay down because he couldn't get back up on his own. If they lay down flat on their side, the weight of their body will end up suffocating them. It will crush their lungs and their intestines, and it will end up killing them. They can lay flat for about a half an hour, and then they start having trouble breathing. And it was important to get him up within that time. We had to lift him with a tractor because he was too weak to stand on his own.
Sadly, Albert only lived another 6 weeks. What killed him were stomach ulcers that had developed from years of stress and neglect. And although Lori tried everything she could to save Albert, each time she loses a horse, it's devastating.
I go in the my little corner, or I go out and talk to another horse and I cry on their shoulder, and it's very difficult knowing that we couldn't do more. The way I get through it is knowing that maybe we can do more for the next one. We're going to hook up the trailer and go up to the horse auction, hoping to find something that would normally end up going to slaughter, that we can bring home, that we can rehabilitate and find it a new home. When you first walk into an auction, I usually walk around and see what needs it the most, make sure I don't miss anybody. It's sometimes chaotic. You see these horses in there, they're scared. Some of them have been shipped a distance. They sell 200 horses in 3 hours. The horses just go in and out and in and out, and people bid on them and take them away. Well, to see Libra, you could smell him before you even got close to him. It smelled like rotten flesh. His legs were just so stinky, infected with just pus and infection. And I went over and looked at him and checked out how old he was and what kind of condition he was otherwise, and where this was coming from, and if it was curable. And my conclusion, with also the help of the veterinarian that's up there, said that yes, this is curable, it just was neglect.
Once again, Lori was able to outbid the meat buyers and paid just $250 for a horse that only needed some care. The butcher would have bought this horse if I didn't buy this horse. He would have been slaughtered by next week. I see a lot of potential. This can be clean. This just takes a bath. Down there it takes some medication, but he's beautiful. He's beautiful, he's sweet, he's got a lot of potential to do a lot of things and make a great companion, make a great pet.
Need a pick-me-up? A Pet Story will be right back on...
The horse Lori saved has been at Last Chance Ranch for only a day. In order to ensure the health of her other horses, Lori keeps him quarantined until the vet can assess his condition.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, Lori. What do you got?
Over here.
After inspecting his legs, Dr. Allerton suspects a deep bacterial infection, but there are some promising signs.
I guess the good news is, his heart rate's normal, his temperature's normal, so he's handling this problem, but this is a chronic. This just doesn't happen overnight. You're looking at probably several months worth of minor skin infection that's really, really escalated to involve all the layers of the skin. Most of the time, this is a pretty preventable problem, and this is probably the worst case I've ever seen.
Because further testing is needed, Dr. Allerton decides to sedate Libra.
Okay. Why don't we get him outside in the open area?
Let's bring him off,
in the trailer.
and we'll tranquilize him outside here.
Okay, I'm going to turn him around.
Oh, boy. He's obviously a working horse. He has the harness marks on his shoulders where he's been pulling a cart or a plow, most likely a plow. He's underweight, so he may be slightly debilitated to begin with and working under a heavy burden. He may or may not have been housed in the best of conditions. I don't know where he came from, so I can't be specific, but this condition is associated with wet, muddy, sloppy conditions. This could be something that could spread into his joints. The locations of the wounds are such that if the bacteria penetrated into the pastern area or up to the fetlock, then bacteria could get into the joint, which joint infections in horses, especially a horse like him, would be a very life-threatening problem. Probably sail me right across that fence.
In order to get a clear picture of Libra's condition, Dr. Allerton cleans the affected area and prepares to take a biopsy.
Actually, I might need you to help me, Lori. Alrighty. What I'm going to ask you to do is, once I put these sterile gloves on, I'm sort of helpless because I want to stay pretty clean. And this is the standard punch biopsy, and we're just going to stick it right on one of the large bumps and grind it in, and we'll take a nice depth of tissue, and we're going to put it into the formalin jar right there.
Okay.
And that'll be step one, and then
Hold this and
just bring the jar up. That'd be great. Okay.
lean him on his foot. He can't pick it up.
There we go. Good boy. So where's the hard part, is getting this sticky. Good. We're just trying to keep this sterile because we're going to take a bacterial culture of it.
It will be a few days until Dr. Allerton gets the results of the biopsy, but for the most part, she's feeling positive.
The fact that he's not lame is the #1 indicator that he does not have infection in the joint. If he came off the trailer, favoring one leg or not wanting to bear weight on one leg, I'd be highly suspicious that he had bacterial infection in the joint, and that's pretty serious.
In the meantime, the treatment is to keep Libra's legs clean, dry, and covered with an antibacterial ointment.
So how long do you think this is going to take to make him sound and usable?
Well, I think you're looking at several months of care to these legs. He probably will be usable long before these things shrink down or are even partially healed, if we ever get there. I'm concerned that we're going to have, a long-term skin infection here. They're large creatures, but they're very fragile when it comes to a lot of their body systems. So they do require a little bit more attention than the average pet. He's landed in a spot where someone's going to pay attention to him, someone's going to feed him properly and take care of him. And I've certainly been in situations where my best advice is euthanasia. But he is certainly not in that category. Bright and alert, eating grass, looking comfortable walking. So those are good signs. And I think she is truly looking at months and months and months of recovery time to get that skin shrunken down a little bit.
At Last Chance Ranch, volunteers are a big part of a horse's rehabilitation.
I was there at auction when we purchased him. I have helped wash his legs. As you can see, they look so much better than they did the first day. I just can't believe it. It's at least an inch of swelling down, I think, on this back leg and on this front leg. But I've walked him. The vet suggested after each cleaning that we walk him, because then that helps the bacteria, just to disturb the bacteria, help break it up.
After spending several weeks at Last Chance Ranch, Libra is showing signs of improvement. The biopsy confirmed that his condition is a bacterial infection that can be cured with the right care. Confident that Libra is well on his way to recovery, Lori decides to place him in foster care.
Well, we're going to take Libra to a foster care facility, which makes room for another horse to come in. He's been with us about 6 weeks, and he's shown great improvement. And we found a foster facility that has warm water and excellent care.
Perhaps now, Libra is closer to finding a permanent home. Libra has spent the last 9 weeks recovering at Jan Cobb's farm.
I believe in Lori's mission. I think Last Chance Ranch is definitely needed. There's a big need. I wish more people had room and time to take horses in and just foster care them. I wanted to help him. I'd never seen sores that bad. I have time. I don't have a whole lot of money, but I have the time that I could work with him and make him better. I think he can become a very good pet. He has the potential. He's certainly gentle enough.
Libra, come on!
I gave him individual attention, whereas although he had been saved and was getting fed, I think his psyche needed to bond with a human being and just to realize that not everybody was out to hurt him.
Caring for Libra involves hours a day. Jan must groom him and treat his bacterial infection several times a week.
He was really bad about this in the beginning, and I had to chase him around with the hairdryer, kind of. He didn't want to stand still for it. But now, he's really good.
I'm going to miss you so much.
And while Jan grows more attached to Libra, she knows that Libra's stay at her farm is temporary.
Lori called me and told me she found a wonderful home, and all the background checks the woman had been put through passed, she told me that he's going to Middleburg, Virginia, and he'll be well taken care of. I have mixed emotions. I'm very sad to lose him, but I'm very happy that he's going somewhere that Laurie thinks highly of. That's the goal after all, to get him someplace where he's gonna spend the rest of his life in quality. But I will miss him and his personality. He just kind of grabs a hold of you.
I traveled about 250 miles, came up from Middleburg, Virginia. I was surfing the net and I was looking for equine groups. Stumbled on their site, and I guess I was surfing for about, 2 or 3 weeks, and I kept going back and looking at Libra. I just couldn't stop thinking about him. We have a couple of others who came from similar circumstances, and they just look at you like you're the most wonderful, amazing person in the world, and it's a great thing to be loved that much. And he's gonna have a great life. Hi, I'm Karen. Hey. So is that him over there?
He's out in the field. Come on, come meet him.
Nice truck.
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, he's gorgeous. Oh my goodness, he is unbelievably beautiful. Oh, look at those big pie plate feet. Hi. Hey. You wanna come live in Virginia? It's okay, it's okay. Looks like his legs have gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
From the pictures.
A lot of intensive care there.
You've got big pie plates on those feet, don't you?
He's a little skittish yet about having the sore legs handled.
Okay.
Dr. Allerton was out last Saturday, and she told me how marvelous he looks. He's put about 200 pounds on.
He looks in good weight.
And
Hey, buddy.
he's kind of had it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
He doesn't want that leg to be touched because I've already handled it twice today. Well, you want to take him for a walk and get to know him? I'm going to go see about some water for the rest of them.
Okay, come on, buddy. You want to come with me? Good boy. Yeah.
After Karen has spent some time with Libra, Laurie and her volunteers from Last Chance Ranch arrived to say goodbye and make the adoption official.
Everybody said just wonderful things about her. They gave her glowing recommendations and said that she just goes above and beyond the call of duty to take care of these animals. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Hi. So what do you think of our boy?
He's gorgeous. He's gorgeous. He's really sweet, too.
I have some papers for you to sign
Okay.
to finalize everything else.
Okay.
And there's your official adoption agreement
Okay.
that needs to be filled out and signed.
Okay. So you're gonna miss him?
Oh, terribly. He's one of the family.
Okay,
We're official.
you're official.
I'd be upset if you weren't upset. I'd say, what's wrong with this one? He's such a sweet horse.
He is.
This is what makes it all worthwhile. Knowing that the horse would have been slaughtered by now, would have probably been meat on a platter somewhere. This is what makes it all worthwhile. Knowing he's going to a good home and he's going to have a wonderful, happy life.
Come up.
The mares are going to start crying.
Oh. Well, let's get him going before he starts a kicking.
Looks like you're in good shape.
I'll let you know when we get safely home, okay?
Good luck. I'd appreciate it.
Okay, so you don't worry about him. Okay? Look, they
This
write.
is my first one. I hope the next one's not this hard.
Next stop, Middleburg, Virginia. Libra has found his home.
He's been here about 5 weeks now. He was very insecure when he got here. He's gained a lot of confidence in himself and that he's in a safe environment and he's sort of finding his place in the herd right now. He is in a lot less pain than when he first came here. Every time I would go near his legs, he wasn't vicious with me, but he definitely let me know I better not hurt him. And he would pick up his leg and give me like a little warning movement. And I would say it took about 2 weeks for him to believe that I really wasn't going to hurt him when I went to those legs.
Libra's legs have involved numerous vet visits and daily intensive care, but Karen's dedication is paying off.
A lot of the proud flesh is gone, which was the real oozy, cauliflowery looking stuff, and this nice pink flesh that you see coming out is actually really good. That's healthy tissue coming out, which he didn't have before. He's healing beautifully. His back leg was the size of a basketball when he got here. And there may be, the good news is we've had him checked and the infection hasn't gone to the bone.
Libra is recovering so well that Karen has even started riding him.
Really like this horse. He's turned into a wonderful surprise. Boy, he's a beautiful mover, and he has great common sense. There's no reason that he shouldn't be a wonderful riding horse. I think that this particular rescued horse knows how lucky he is. He tells us thank you every single day. I mean, I think that he knows that he's got a good life here. I'm very grateful to Last Chance Ranch. And he's a really special horse. I mean, I consider him a gift from God. He's just a really, really special horse, and we're gonna love him a long time.
Don't move, because another inspirational episode of A Pet Story is coming up next.